Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Master Study Stream. Woo woo, Monday. We're able to get one in here and so excited to do that. But happy Monday. Hopefully, everybody had a good weekend this weekend. My name is Rocky Ballesteros. Thank you for joining me live here on my channel where we do some crazy stuff, but all for the love of comics. That's what this channel is about. And one of the mainstays is these master study streams where I'm taking a look at how is it? I need a better elevator pitch, but I'm looking at masters of comic book art. In this particular case, Frank Miller, one of my top heroes in the comic book world. Looking at art that they've done, looking at a page that they've done in particular. In this case, it's from Frank Miller's run on Daredevil in the 1980s. Some of his best work, actually. I really love this stuff. And I'm taking a page that he designed from the Elektra Saga, or that he drew from the Elektra Saga, and reproducing it live on stream right here on this channel. So it's been a fun ride so far. We've done this for a number of artists, as many of you know. Mike Zeck was my first one, page from a Punisher series, the beginning of Punisher, like one of the earliest Punisher issues that he drew. Michael Golden from the Nam, a page that he drew from the Nam. I always got to look up at my bulletin board here. Will Eisner, a page from The Spirit, a story that he did, a Spirit story. Mobius from Parable, the Silver Surfer Parable that he drew and the legendary Stan Lee wrote. What else we got? Barry Windsor Smith, the one of the cover images that he did for Weapon X, and the last one that we worked on was a Jim Steranko page from Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury, and it was this great storytelling page from Steranko. So yeah, these have been super fun to do, and they take a number of streams to get by. I can't finish it all in one stream, but usually the process is picking which page. I use my wonderful chat community that's here. We have a great discussion about why I have some certain interests and why I'm looking at a particular master. And then you guys help me choose the actual page that I do. And so we do a little voting process. It's fun. Everybody tries to throw a wrench in there to to mess up the vote, to stack the vote, whatever it is. But then we end up on we decide a page. I give like a day for people to vote on it, and then we decide the page, and then I just start. And I start from blank Bristol page, and I'm trying to recreate these at size, at the original, as close as possible to the original size that these masters drew it at. So I'll start with a blank page and pencil it. And so we finished the pencils on this Daredevil page, which turned out great. Here we go. These are the pencils, how they turned out. Look how cool that is. And it's just fun conversation while I'm drawing it, but also just figuring out why or how is more likely the question, how these masters have created these pages. So the reason why I do it is it's really just to kind of level up my own game and to understand how they create these incredible pieces of art. And as you guys know, those of you who do know me, I'm such a big fan of original comic art and tradition, the way that it's done, the traditional process that it's created. So I'm a big fan of that, and I'm a lover of comic books. And, I want to be doing this on my own work as well. So just learning from these masters and breaking down their pages, breaking down their thinking, and trying to figure out how they do it. Not only the thinking behind the pages, but also the materials that I use. So that comes up more in play with the inking side, because there's so many different tools you can use. You can ink with a brush, you can ink with a nib, you can ink with technical pens. You can ink with a stick and mud. Might not turn out as great. But there's all sorts of techniques that go into that. And so as I learned that craft myself, it's nice to look at these pages and kind of guess why or how they might have done it, and try and learn more about the tools. And you can only learn from the tools by actually putting tool to paper. You can look at it, you can talk about it all you want, but if you don't put in the work and the muscle memory and the reps, then you'll never get better. So that's why I'm doing these master studies. And a fun tool, most of the tool kind of decisions as far as what kind of brush do I use, what kind of nib do I use, what kind of ink do I use, they're usually most heavily weighted towards the inking side of it. But as you guys know, during the penciling stage of this Frank Miller page, I started using a different kind of pencil, which were the oh shoot, I don't even have it in here. That's horrible. Well, I have the lead in here, but the Staedtler Mars pencils, the mechanical pencils that have the little sharpener. So that one I started using when I was penciling this Frank Miller page, and I really, really liked it. I think I told you guys last stream I was buying different color lead. So I just tried blue here, but I said I'm going to probably buy red lead. So I did. I got that in the mail. And I'll probably use that. Probably use that on whatever next master study I do, the next penciling phase. So they kind of come in these cool cases, the red lead here, and then you just swap it out in the pencil holder. So it's awesome. I'm really excited about that for a new tool on the penciling side of it. But for now, so we finished the pencils, and then I scanned it in and then printed it out on a clean sheet of Bristol, did a little Photoshop treatment, non-photo blue Photoshop treatment. So what it does is it kind of dials back the contrast on the page, and so that I can still see, so I can still see the artwork, but it's not as, side by side, it's not as, bold, and it won't interrupt the inks, but it's enough there that I can see it, so I can ink over it and see what I did in pencils. And so this is a technique that's been used in comic book art creation for decades. A lot of the time, professional artists that I've seen will ink directly over the pencils, and that always makes me nervous, because I'm like, what if you mess up? And what happens to the pencil page after you ink it? You don't have pencils anymore. And so I like to keep my pencils intact, safe, Control S, if you will, in a traditional sense, and then just print it out on these, on a clean sheet of Bristol. And in the event I screw up, I could always print out another one. Hasn't happened so far, thank goodness. But yeah, so that's the process. So that's where we are now, and then we will be starting the inks today, which is really exciting, and that's why we fired up the stream. So let's get into saying hello to everybody here already. That's my cat. All right, you can leave. Yes, you can leave. He's like, you're talking too loud. You woke me up. He'll probably bother us in a little bit. But let's say hello to everybody in the chat here first before we get going. Emo Trash first in the trash. First in the trash. First in the chat. Emo Trash. Hello. Hello, Emo Trash. Welcome, welcome. Beat out the chat ninja by a hair. Comrade Sammy. What's up, Comrade Sammy? You were trying to be first, and you were right there. It was like it was totally like a musical chairs moment where I hit go, and then you guys like trying to get in there in that first seat, which I don't know. It's like a thing. People want to be first. I've seen some people on other streams actually tally who was first in the chat, and then like you build that up. We could do that. Then it turns into even more stressful competition. But it's all in good fun. Jeffrey Beats is here all the way from down under.
10% bogan, 50% bogan, 100% bogan.
Sunny Minjin, what's up? Bring on the Frank Miller. That's right, Jeffrey Beats. That's what we are going to be doing today. How are you doing? What percent bogan are you today? Mark's Music Obsession's in here, my man. All all the cool kids. That's right. Only the cool kids are here. This is our exclusive cool kids stream. Emo Trash says, when even was the last time I was first, be grateful I'm popping in after my recent track record. It's true. It's been a while, so everybody gets their chance to be first in the chat. Mark's Music Obsession points that out. 528 subs. Can you believe it? We had a little bit of a nice bump towards the end of last week into the weekend. I think also probably because I was posting a little bit more. I was trying some things out. I don't know if you guys watch my YouTube shorts or if they even show up on your notifications. Let me know if they do. But I was just trying a different thing with YouTube shorts. I get all sorts of ads, and it's probably because of what I'm searching online, but I get all sorts of ads for like, oh, you can use this this video editor AI generator or whatever that takes your long form video and makes all these clips. I've tried a few different samples of them. Most of them are subscription based, so I'm pretty cheap. And so I'm like, I don't know if I want to pay a subscription on to have something edit, because I can edit, but it just saves you time, right? That's the whole point of it. So I've tried a few trial runs, and some of them are easier than other, but I did find a combo. I think it's Adobe's software, which I'm already subscribing to their creative pack, which gives you like Photoshop and After Effects and Premiere and Illustrator and all those kinds of programs. So they have another one that's online. Am I lagging? I'm just looking at my picture. It feels like I'm lagging a little bit. Let me just double check. Hopefully it's not a speed thing. No, speed's good. Yeah, weird. I feel like it's lagging a little bit. Anyway, they have a, what do they call it? Is it Firefly or Express? Anyway, they have their own kind of AI editing business. And so I was just doing some tests on that. And what I did was I would take like a longer clip from like a master study stream, and I'll probably do that for this stream after I'm done. But I take a longer clip, throw it in there, and it'll edit out chunks that you could turn into clips to post on social media, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, whatever. So I just doing some tests over the weekend, and they actually got pretty good engagement. And it was kind of cool because I feel like it's a little daunting. Like these streams tend to be 2 to 3 hours long. My streams are, yes. I'm a little long-winded, but it's the process. You can't rush through what I'm doing, especially the kind of artist I am. I'm not super speedy. Like I take my time, try and like really work through the process. I don't want to rush through anything. And then I also tend to talk a little bit long in the tooth. But it's nice when you have these little small clips to edit, because then people who don't know about the stream, they can just watch that little snapshot, like 15-second, 30-second snapshot, and be like, oh, that's cool. And then they can choose to watch the longer stream after that. So I found that was pretty cool. And I tried a couple shorts. You guys can see that on my shorts section of my YouTube channel. Tried a couple shorts of one of the penciling streams for this Frank Miller thing, and they came out cool. They'll do like the automatic captions on it, and you can add music. It's all the kind of fancy whatever YouTube way. So so that was cool, and I think that helped bump up a few more subscribers. So here we are at 528, which is amazing. It's really good. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'll keep trying it. Keep trying weird different things to help build this channel and just make the content more engaging, more interesting, and find new people to come join us. Mighty Geek Studios, what is up, Mighty Geek Studios? You are still on my list of sound effects. You've been a wrench for a bit now, and you've been showing up. So yeah, you are definitely sound effects worthy, but we don't have one for you yet, Mighty Geek Studios, but you are next on my list. So welcome. Good to see you again. Welcome to the Monday Rocky Curveball, according to Mark's Music Obsession. just walked in the door. Perfect timing for Mark. Comrade Sammy says she have about an hour to jet. Am I even going to touch ink to paper? You only have an hour? See, these things go long. As you guys saw the caption, this caption, shoot the fat. It's just this time I like at the beginning of my streams to catch up with you all. And they tend to run in the 30 plus minute range. Surprise, surprise. And in all fairness, that includes the countdown and the trailers that I play. Jeffrey Beats was asking about one of the trailers I played was from Mile High Comics. So I do like to do comic trailers that I've edited of different stores that I visited in just whatever in my day to day. And Mile High Comics was one of those. And yes, it is in Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City, hence the name Mile High Comics. And it's amazing. It's a really great place. If you love comics and you're in Colorado, I highly recommend making your way there. It's like the mecca of, it's like the biggest comic warehouse I have ever been in my life. So it's overwhelming and it's amazing. And if I could spend a whole day in there, I think I only had like 40 minutes actually when I went because we had to get on a flight. But yeah, it was incredible. Really incredible. Have to look at next time. Yeah, do it. Jeffrey Beats, highly recommended. Is it me or is he lagging a bit? I feel like I'm lagging a bit. Why? Why am I lagging a bit? There is a bit of a drag in. Let me check a couple settings here. Hang tight, everybody. My streaming is okay. Frame, like, can we? Ba-ba-da-ba. Oh, that feels laggy too. Yeah, I don't know why that's lagging. Pop, pop, pop. I feel like there's a lag in the lip sync, which is unfortunate. I don't know if that's a YouTube thing. Is that a YouTube thing? Is that a... Let me turn this off. Is that a... the power went out in Spain thing? Did you guys see that? It's like, holy cow. Let me check a couple more settings here. Another thing that I want to, before we get going on the inks, another thing I want to just share with you all is the other trailer that I showed. I feel like I'm still lagging, Ro. I am, though. Sorry. It won't matter. Once my head shrinks to the corner and I start drawing, you won't see it. But the other thing I wanted to share on stream was my other trailer that I played was from my buddy Shanth and Jetty's campaign Springball Terminal Monstrosity. So I love to that doesn't look right. I love to share where his campaign is at the beginning of my streams as his campaign has been running, but he's been doing awesome. Here we go. Springball Terminal Monstrosity. Number 1. Shant's at $20,673. And why is that? There we go. 385 backers. How amazing is that, guys? And it disappeared. There we go. How amazing is that? That's awesome for Sean. I love to just give him his props out. Okay, website, personal data. Give him the props at the beginning of each stream and just point people in the direction of his campaign. He's slowly building this up. Killed his goal in the first 30 days, and he's on this next 30-day campaign. So just help spread the word for Sean's book. For those of you who have already backed it or are thinking about backing it, please do. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting. I have seen some people post out that they've been finding the original Spring Balls from... That didn't sound good. They've been finding the original issues of Spring Ball out in the wild, whether that's eBay or what have you. And they've been posting it. So those are collector's items, folks. And when this new campaign comes out, their value, in my mind, their value will go up even more because you won't be able to find those. That when Shant originally published Spring Ball issues 1 and 2 back in the early 2000s, that's kind of a snapshot of where this came from. So he's revamping the whole thing. He's kind of souping it up. Spring Ball Terminal Monstrosity is like a deluxe, new and improved version of Spring Ball, but still with the same 90s nostalgia. He says it's Spider-Man meets Evil Dead. Go back this campaign. It's going to be amazing. And go check out Sean's channel. He talks about it a lot. You see streams of him drawing both this and his other book, Nosfero, the Crypt Walker. I don't even know how Sean does it. I can't even keep track of what day I am functioning in, let alone have 2 campaigns going at the same time. So that is Spring Ball Terminal Monstrosity. Okay, let's see. He should be grateful we didn't task him with drawing a dong ship for that one match. Yes, I am grateful for that. How are the watch hours coming along, Mark's Music? Great question, Mark. Because as you guys know, I've told you before, monetization on YouTube doesn't come... How funny. Shant just texted me. He says, you aren't lagging. Thanks, Shant. That reminds me of one of my first streams where I was muted for the longest time. Do you guys remember those? Those are the good old days where... Sorry, I forgot to publish. The good old days where I would like mute myself and then forget to unmute. And then Shant would have to call me as I was on stream and tell me that I was muted. So those were fun. Go back and watch those streams, guys. Those are really fun. Embarrassing yet fun. Okay, so, but as you guys know, I've talked about before, monetization on this channel or having paid channel memberships don't start until YouTube says so. And there's certain analytics that you have to hit. One of them, the first one was the 500 subscribers. We killed it. The next one is now watch hours. So as of the 23rd, which today's the 28th, so it's like a week lag behind of how they tally this stuff. But as of April 23rd, I'm at 2,700 watch hours. And that goal is 3,000 watch hours. So we're close. We're really close. And it's creeping up, every day. So yeah, we're really close. I'm guessing maybe when we hit like 550, maybe 575, maybe watch hours will hit their goal. I don't know. I'm not sure. You really can't tell. It's YouTube's. It's their little like carrot that they dangle in front of you. You're like, oh, I hit 500. Oh, I got to do this other thing. Okay, and then it keeps you going, keeps you on the hamster wheel. So anyway, we're doing it. It's gonna happen. John's here. What's up, John?
He goes, what's your name? He goes, John.
John is here. The party can start. Everybody's saying hello to John, who will stream after Rocky right when I get into something else. Elevator pitches take time to hone and be effective. Yes, it's true. And one of my goals is to actually do like a title sequence for Master Study and also the other stream that I do, My Wednesday Comics, to do like a custom title sequence for it. I'd like that to happen. Then I won't have to pitch this every time. You kind of would get it when you watch it. So yeah, that's on the docket. I have finally, one of the things I'm trying to do for each of these master studies is to get do a summary video. So summary video being top 3 things that I learned from doing a master study of blank. So I've only done 2 videos of that so far, of Mike Zeck and Michael Golden. The one I'm working on now is the Will Eisner one. So I filmed most of the filming that I do for that video, and I just have to record some stuff and edit it together. So I did get to push that boulder a little bit farther over the weekend. I'm going to get back to this essay while he's still yapping. Nice. The red pencils leads are great for the start, then blue, then pencil, then ink. Yeah, so I haven't done like the graphite pencil on top of the colored pencil. I haven't done that. Oh, no, that's not true. I did a little bit of that on the Mobius page because some of the lines were super fine. And the benefit of working in the colored penciled lead is it's a lot softer, so it lets you get rough and keep things not too muddy. Very, it allows your page not to get muddy too fast because the lead is soft and not so dark as like a graphite lead. And then people will like hit it with a hard graphite line. But I haven't had to do that for any of the other pages except that Mobius one because Mobius works in a lot of the line work. His line work is a lot more fine lined than some of the other pages we've picked. And then, so I needed to hit it with the graphite line just to distinguish or with clarity draw some of those lines. But that's the only one that I've done graphite over the color pencil. Otherwise, my tight pencils are just a colored pencil version of the page, like the Electra one right now. I didn't hit that with graphite at all. So yeah, it just depends. It depends on, and that's kind of the answer for all these pages, whether that's tools or technique or whatever. It's just kind of what works, whatever tool works that gets you the mark, gets you the image you want, use that. Whatever ink feels the best for you as you're doing it, use that. That's my advice. Sean and Jetty, there he is. Excuse me. Thanks, Sean, for letting me know that I'm not lagging. I feel like I am lagging a little bit. At least what I'm seeing here. I don't know why that is. If I had known I was lagging, I would probably have restarted my computer. Because the computer that I stream the master study stuff on is a little bit of an older computer, so, and it just updated its OS. So when it, all right, coming back in. Come on. How about I leave the door slightly open so you don't have to yell at me every time and speak of the devil, John says, Rocky, it's all about the cat, don't you know? I do know. This cat, I told my daughter the other day that this cat, 70 to 80% chance that this cat will be involved in my death. Like it's going to be worked in there somehow because I've injured myself twice dealing with this cat. And it's not been good. So I feel like something's going to happen that he's going to be involved with that will kill me. So mark my words. Emo trash is first in the trash. Yes, that tracks. Rocky, too many Rockies in that sentence. Emo is going to be the first to go when or if Rocky decides to throw us away. I'd never throw you guys away. I'm at 39 on the year so far for Bancroft. First, that is. Mark's music obsession. Let me get this straight. You've been first in Bancroft's chat 39 times. Holy cow. That's a dedication right there. I love it. Does Bancroft track? Does he track the numbers? That's awesome. Mark says, I'm trying to break his record, John. I think it's 53. Oh my gosh. Is that one of your recent reels was? Yes, Emo Trash was. If you're talking about from the master study or something, there's one there's like I'm talking about Terry Austin. There's a clip there about Terry Austin and how I loved his inks over John Byrne or Arthur Adams. There was that clip I put. And then the other clip was about how I loved what Frank Miller and Klaus Janson were doing on this page, the difference in how he was inking certain parts with like heavy blacks versus finer lines. So yeah, those were the two clips that I did for YouTube Reels. Jeffrey Beats says, what Bogan percentage am I? I guess I need to research to see what percentages. I feel like 15%, but I'm sitting in a swanky cafe, so that must reduce it. No Bokens in the cafe, I guess. Rocky asked, am I lagging? Does he expect answers in the chat when he gets to them to be timely? That's so true, John. That's true. His lag was called out a while ago. He's all sorts of layers of slow. Sorry. My allergy cough is still here. It'll be here for a while. Mark, reminding everybody, please smash that like. Yes, do it, people. That always helps. What is your sound effects limit on your soundboard? I don't think there's a limit, John. The only thing that limits me is seeing them all at once before I have to start scrolling to find it. But I label them in alphabetical order. So that helps. So like when I see John, I know to look for the J, and I know my alphabet. So that helps. But yeah, it's getting lengthy. The amount of sound effects I have right now. Here, I'll give you guys a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I have 20 people, 20 mods in my channel who have sound effects. That's pretty awesome. I haven't ever counted it before. That's 20 people. Amazing. Headless Bourgeoisie. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday to you, sir. Rocky, you ain't even been shooting the fat. You've been on your own train of yap. Comrades Enemy's already calling it. I'm not going to get to drawing. It was Spain, Portugal, and a couple other countries I can't recall at the moment. Oh, for the power loss? Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Emo Trash lost power in my own neighborhood for about an hour on Friday. Is it related, Emo Trash? I can't imagine, like, at that scale, for a whole country to lose power. And I don't know all the details, but it sounds like... I saw some photos, and, you know, it's like chaos, right? So that's pretty nuts. A moving van is going to show up with my Shanth stuff. Because Mark got a lot. That's Rocky's thing. Start answering chat, distract himself, and chat forgotten. Oh my gosh. You guys love it. You love it. You have to love it, or else why are you here? Why are you here? Stevie Stitches, what with the killer profile picture here. Where's Frank? Where is Frank? Oh, Frank Miller? Oh, was that why you're here, Steve? Hate to break it to you, Stevie Stitches, but I did not actually get Frank Miller here. We're just working on a master study of his work right here. Whoops. This is what we're going to get to. We're going to get to this. Maybe Stevie Stitches that's his subtle way of saying, hey guys, let's move on. Let's get past this fat stuff. Original spring balls. Rocky, you already know how he does it. He just cuts sleep out of his life. That's the Shanth move, right? That's a superpower. It's not about skill. It's not about talent. It's not about hard work. It's about sleep. Shanth gains. He's got 12 hours on us from cutting out sleep. Toast Addict is here. Another cool profile picture. Crazy. Do a backflip. Hello? I can't do a backflip. That would kill me. Turtles are coming out of hiding. It's time to start their ninja training, Comrade Sammy's says. How many sound bites are we betting Rocky makes it before he stops making them? No, I'm going to keep doing it. I don't know. I'm betting well over 100. Well, that is a lot. That is a lot. Probably not related, but it was almost annoying. Saving grace was that the power kicked back on just in time for what I was wanting to do. Oh, for your power outage. Gotcha. Well, that's good. Yeah, I don't know. Power... And it depends on when the power goes out, too. If it's like nighttime or daytime, that can always affect it. And then I can't just imagine, like, what they're dealing with over there, where it's not like if my power goes out of my house, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go to Starbucks or I'll go to the library so that I can keep working, or I'll go run some errands or whatever. But if it's like the entire country and like stoplights are out and, electric transportation and all that kind of stuff's out, that'd be crazy. I can't even picture what would happen and how quickly that could descend into chaos. So hopefully things get get back to normal there quicker than not. But you know what? That's it for shooting the fat. We're going to get to inking now. That's what we're doing. So here we go. Did Rocky say library? Maybe. Shanthan Jetty Art says, if we get to 12 likes, I'll send Rocky a photo of my studio dips. How many likes do we have so far? I don't know. Why? What could you send me, Sean, that would upset me? Like, it's not like it could get any worse. Seriously. Like, if you just sent me a picture of, like, stuff blocking your camera, it couldn't be any worse. It seems like, as I'm checking now, we got 8 likes. So if we get 4 more likes, somebody let me know. And Shant will send me a picture. Toast Addict says, that's okay, I guess. Meaning what? Oh, that I can't do a backflip? Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, let's get to this. Let's get to the good stuff here. Excuse me. So here's the page. And I've decided to go with the old Winsor Newton. Let me find it better. Winsor Newton number 2. Trust the old Winsor Newton. It just seems like looking at Frank's page, or Klaus Jensen Frank's page, this Daredevil page, it definitely feels like brush was used here, because there's some beautiful, and this is the thing I'm looking forward to the most. There's some beautiful, thick, thin line work going on here. A great, like, balance of, you know, this is what I was talking about in the clip, like this, like, really blocky, fat shadow work here. And then some beautiful, delicate feathering. I love that. It's super bold. It's dynamic. It's awesome here, even still with some of these thinner lines here. Yeah, it just looks like a brush would work really well with this kind of stuff. I have not gotten to, one of the things I was talking about last stream, people were talking, I say talking about a lot, but people were bringing up using screen tone, because that's what it seems like Frank did here. So I was like, I don't want to use screen tone. If I did, I'd do it digitally, but it could be kind of cool. So I haven't made it to my local art store yet to see if they even have the Letraset screen tones. But if they do, I might give it a whirl. We'll see. Because that'll help here. Otherwise, it'll just be gray. And there's something nice about this transition from dark to light that's created by the screen tone. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get there. But what I'm going to do, when I'm going to start on this stream here, I looked at this morning and I'm like, where should I start? Should I just go for it? Should I go for the girl's face, for Elektra's face? Should I go for like some of the delicate stuff first as I'm getting my feet wet? But no, I'm going to go for this first panel here. I'm going to start here. There is some, this happens a lot in pages that once I get into the inking phase, but I look at certain pages and I'm like, oh, I cannot wait to hit that with the brush, or to like create that line with the brush. And this figure has a lot of those moments for me. So I'm like, let's just go for it. Let's go for Daredevil here. No apologies necessary, and just like, let's hit it. So I'm going with the Winsor Newton brush. This is my tool. And then I am going to use, with the Winsor Newton brush, Series 7 Sable 2 brush, I'm going to go back to my Winsor Newton ink. This was one of the first inks that I tried on my master studies, and I've always liked this ink. I got this ink just because I like the bottle, and I've seen other people say, oh, the ink's okay, but just get it for the bottle because the bottle is a nice weight, and it's wider at the bottom, so that helps, so that you're not like accidentally tipping it over. But I actually like the ink on it. In it. So I'm going to use this ink. And then I'm going to dispense some of this into my little ramekin or whatever you want to call this. Because I don't like dipping straight into the bottle. Because I can't see. It's hard to dip into black ink because you don't know how far you're dipping with a bottle this tiny. You don't really know how far you're dipping, and if you submerge your brush in ink constantly, like as you're inking something, it cakes up and gets hard to clean a little bit. So I like to dispense it into a smaller container so I can see how much ink I'm putting on the brush at a time. Other people don't do it. I've seen people just like dip straight into the bottle, but this is just me because I like to control the amount of ink that I dip my brush in. All right, let's see here. So let's why does Rocky want to be upset? What is it, Shant? 10 likes now, Mark's music obsession. Nice. I should actually commit to getting back to that essay. Okay, emo trash. Just jump in whenever. How complicated are screen tones? I don't know. I've never actually done them, John. I've seen other people do it on stream and just like videos of people doing it. And it involves, like, it's a sticky page with a printed tone on it. And it involves an X-Acto knife and cutting around the spaces of what you want to ink, what you want to put the tone on. So it's a little involved, but I've never tried it. And so it might be worthy to give it a go just so I know what it takes to do. All right. Goodness. The decisions. All right, let's do it. I feel like I need a little bit more light for myself. Ugh, there is nothing like the first mark off of a clean brush that is just freshly loaded with ink. You see that, like, the thing that amazes me with the Winsor Newton or any kind of sable brush, when it's a good brush, and these Winsor Newton Series 2 brushes are one of the industry standards for inking. So you got it when it has, like, I think it's used a lot in industry standard because of the quality of the sable and the hairs on the brush. And there's a lot of factors to that. I think it's like how it keeps its point, how it holds ink, how smooth it goes down, all that kind of stuff. If you have ever had experience inking with a crappy brush, you'll know that you can really feel the difference. Just like the hairs on the brush will start splitting, or the ink won't carry like smoothly when you put a mark down. All those kind of things. Like, you can really feel the quality when you spend a little extra on a brush. And so yeah, just the control and how smooth it feels and it goes down is amazing using this brush. And I'd always like to think that the same brand ink, this isn't always the case, but I like to think that the same brand ink as the brush. So this is a Winsor Newton brush, and I'm using Winsor Newton ink. you'd like to think that they're trying it out on their own brush, making sure it works really well with their own brush. That would make sense. But at the end of the day, it's really what's the most comfortable for you. Like, look how fat I can get that mark just with one stroke on the brush, just by pressing down more pressure. But then I can also like lay off the pressure and it gives it a nice taper. Or some of these like thinner lines here. That's fun already. Jake. Hey, Jake. How you doing? Welcome to my channel. Is there anything that you find tedious to ink? Good golly. You know what? So far, I would say that there hasn't been anything that I've done in my Master Study series, and I'm sure I'm going to run into it. Maybe it's also because I get to kind of curate which pages I'm doing. Like, I'm picking the best pages or my favorite pages of stuff that I'm doing. But if you were to illustrate, or, if you were the artist on a book, and I'm sure there's going to be pages in that book that are like, gosh, I got to draw this establishing shot, or I got to draw these like insane crowd shot. I'm sure there'll be stuff that you run into that's just not fun. But I would argue. So I guess my approach would be, if I was illustrating my own book, which will happen soon, you just want to find the fun in everything that you're drawing. So if like there's a scene that seems boring and I'm like, I don't want to draw that, then don't do it. Like, make it exciting, make it fun for you to draw, so that every brushstroke you put down, every pencil mark you put down is exciting, and you can't wait to like attack the page and draw it. So that's my mandate. I want to draw things that excite me. If the plot requires me to draw a quote unquote boring scene, I'm going to try and make that as exciting as possible. And that's what a lot of artists that I admire did. And when I look at their artwork, they just made everything exciting. It's like Jack Kirby or, Todd McFarlane. If I look at the work that I love by those people, they would make the most boring things exciting and fun. And whether that's the composition or the staging or the exaggeration or the design, whatever it is, they would try and just make it fun. Like, comics is hard enough. Why make it boring? Why bore yourself to death while you're drawing it? So yeah, I wouldn't say that there's anything in these master studies that I've done so far that I've been like, that was tedious, or that was really boring to do. Even if you watch the Mobius master study I did, there was a insane perspective scene panel from the city. But that was fun to figure out. That was fun to just kind of break down and figure out how he did it, and where the perspective lines were, and then how he changed the amount of detail based on what was closer to camera versus farther away from camera. Like, all that kind of stuff was really fun and challenging. And then the second panel on that page is an insane crowd shot of all these heads, which you would be like, it's not like it's Silver Surfer or Galactus, it's just a bunch of people. But Mobius, in that panel made all those heads look incredible, and they were all had amazing expressions and were so interesting to draw. So as I was drawing them, I was like, this is fun. This is cool. So good question, though. Good question. Oh my gosh, I just inked my mic. Good, Rocky isn't hitting the bottle again. 2 more likes needed. Smash that like. Trying to get to 12 likes so that Shanth sends me a picture of his studio, and then I'll share that with you guys all. So let me know, Mark, when it hits 12. You're my watcher. Little Bird says hi. Hello, Little Bird. Hello, Louie. Lindsay Rose is here. What's up, Lindsay Rose? Good seeing you. Good meeting you here. I don't think I've met you before. 12 likes, Mark's Music Obsession says. Is that true? Shanth. We hit 12 likes. I'm going to text him if he's not on chat. Send me the pic. That was fast. Oh, goodness. You guys are awesome. Thank you for everybody who's hit the like so far. Welcome to the party over here in Rockies. That's right, Lindsay. Welcome, Lindsay. Welcome, welcome. Get comfortable. Not impossible, but highly unlikely since it's due Wednesday. This professor still hasn't graded the last essay that was due back in the middle of the arch. I hate that when teachers would do that. Like all these like deadlines, and if you don't submit it by 12 a.m., if you're off by just a minute, you're gonna fail. And then when they grade it, they like take forever. They don't have the same respect of the time or the schedule. What are you gonna do? Just heard my watch ding. I'm gonna guess that this is the photo. Okay, let me see. Okay, this is good. This is gonna be great. Let me get the trying to keep on task. I don't want to waste any ink, so let me get all this ink off of this brush. The amazing thing about the Winsor Newton brush is it holds ink well, really well. So it might be a few minutes here, but let me just get all the ink off of this brush, and then I will gladly share this picture of Sean's studio. I didn't even look at it closely, but it already made me laugh. Yeah, so it's fun because I can already tell with this page that the brush was the right way to go. And you look at it, for me, it's like I kind of examine the mark making that's done and how it was done, try and figure out how it was done. And so when I see like areas like this that have bold black shapes, and it very well may be that somebody's inking with multiple tools, right? They're not just limiting it to a brush. They might be inking with a bunch of other stuff too. But when I see a piece like this, and you just see the variation in line weight, then my mind automatically goes to, okay, they probably used a brush, because brush as a tool gives you that flexibility like I was just demonstrating a second ago. Based on the amount of pressure you put down your line, you can control the thickness of the line. And the Winsor Newton brushes are so nice that they really give you a nice transition between your thick and thin lines. A lot of control. Okay, I think I got enough ink off of this brush. Let me share with you guys this photo. Let's see, how do I do this? More. Wait, how do I do this? Oh yeah, I gotta save it. Okay, this is... Now, as many of you guys know, I visited Shanth in, I think it was January. And I was here. I was right here in the midst of this. And then, so when he tells me he's going to send me a picture of his studio, then I'm like, oh yeah, I have a picture of my mind of what it is. But this is so good. And incredible at the same time. All right, let's see. What is the best way to share this with you guys? I guess it would be this and this. No, that's not good. Oh, I think I need to... That's right. It can't even be contained here, Shanth. Trying to get the full effect. Okay, are you guys ready for this? Comrade Sammy says, okay, I got a jet. Oh, wait. Wait, she says, I got a jet. You'll have to double your chaos making emo. Aw, too bad, comrades. Come back and watch the stream for this picture. Okay, let's see. All right, here we go, guys. This is amazing. So, where does Shanth sit? That's a good question. What happened to your chair? I don't even know where Shanth's chair is. It disappeared. Maybe he never had a chair and he just sat on his stuff. But yeah, that is Shanth's. Oh my gosh. Cranberry Landers is here. What's up, Cranberry? Just in time to see this craziness.
This is a cranberry full of power.
John says, oof. The chaos. That's right. K-pop junkies here looks about right. I always appreciate people's streams because let's be honest, there is a certain facade that you are designing for this frame, or in this particular, this is a circle now, but the frame of when you're a streamer and you're streaming content, there's something you design, and some people care and some people don't. But Shanth designs really wear for that frame, so you have a certain image in your mind of what the studio looks, whether that's a certain illusion, we'll say. But the dirty little secret is, and not so secret, is outside of that little box is the real world. And this is the real world, folks. It's an organized mess, right, Shanth? Oh my gosh. This is not surprising for what I've seen of Shanth's studio. Cranberry Langer says, that looks like a perfect representation of his mind. It is. It is. You know what's the best part, though, is Shanth has the best stuff. It is a treasure trove, a gold mine. a Pandora's box of awesome reference. It's always been like this. This is trademark Shanthan Jetty. And for somebody like me walking into this chaos, I just start digging and I find the coolest stuff in there. And if it was just junk, it would be like a hoarder's house, but it's not. It's all like treasure, just chaotically stacked. Mark's Music Obsession says I need to go in there and clean up. Yeah, you'll quickly find out which line of the OCD you land on when you walk into this. And so this is a trigger for me of like, I need to organize. I need to clean. I need to stack. I need to, group things based on shape and size. Is Shanth an actual artist or just a hoarder which just recycles found art? Oh my gosh. It's so good. It's so good. Mid cleaning. Sure. How he find my workspace? How do you find my workspace? Lindsay Rose says. You know what? It's relatable. We're gonna give you that, Shanth. It's relatable. Let me see. Look at that head in there. That head model. You can see the light is laptop. Look, various and sundry sketches. And the crazy thing is Shanth doesn't know. Like, he has the most valuable stuff. And I'm talking about his originals just scattered in this chaos. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Like, look at this beautiful thing that you have here. This beautiful work of art that should be framed on somebody's wall. Just kind of in a pile next to a bunch of other stuff, just randomly. That's how I've gotten a lot of I've gotten a hold of a lot of Shanth's original stuff, is because he won't even know if it's missing. I just like walk out with it. Oh my gosh, that's good. That's good stuff. I needed that. I needed to see that. And I have my own sense of chaos, but I am pretty... I am more on the organized side of the spectrum than that. Keep hitting this mic. Painting it with my ink. All right. Let's see. Where were we at? Back to Frank Miller. It makes you grateful. Grateful for vacuum cleaners and 409. The spring cleaning, though. It's like I'm not a huge like hosting party kind of guy. But I do like having people over to our house from time to time. Depends on the people, but I do. But what I love about it is it also forces you to like clean sometimes. In like spring cleaning, there's nothing like it. Like a Saturday afternoon, people are coming over Saturday night, and you like just gotta clean and tidy and make it look nice. And I've tried, guys. I really have tried. Shanth can attest to that. I've tried. I've cleaned up his place, his apartment, or his room, his dorm room. I've done it a number of times. And, you know, it'll last for... How long, Shanth? An hour? I don't know. All right, let's see. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Emo Trash returned for the shots. Got that. It's a mad scientist lab. That is. There's gold in them hills. Rocky treats it like a treasure hunt. It is. It's fun. It's super fun. It's like the combination of like walking into a library slash comic store slash museum toy store. You just find all sorts of stuff in it. A video store. Guys notice I'm like turning my paper. I like to do that a lot because the natural curvature of the wrist and the wrist action on this always get a nicer, cleaner line if I go in this direction. So depending on the direction of the mark I want to make, I'll rotate the page to give me the optimal angle. It's understandable now. How does Shanth create such chaotic and fantastical environments? Oh, he's busy. Uses study for... That's right. Just has to look. You had to remove the chair to clean and drive me nuts. How about a copy of Silver Surfer Parable lying around in there, Shanth? Because I can't find mine. Really? Did you lose it? You had it and you lost it, Mark? I actually like the look of Sean's study. It actually looks aesthetically pleasing to me. Nice. No chair for you, Sean. The Wilhelm scream keeps playing in my head. Not Rocky admitting to pillaging. I may or may not have walked out of there with something that Sean didn't know. Maybe. And I figure if it's under all this stuff, he'd never miss it. Like his third child. Never miss it. I always wanted a third child. He just had one hanging around. I noticed this when I was working on the pencils on this part. They did this great thing where they didn't close off this piece of glass, the line that makes this piece, they didn't close, they left it open pretty intentionally. So I don't know, it has this neat effect whenever you pick certain spots in your artwork that you keep the lines open and you don't close them all off. There's like this like psychological flow where you feel like that glass, maybe it's sticking in him a little bit or something. This is Klaus Janson Master Study or Miller, because Janson is very much in there. Both. And I think their pairing is such a great pairing. So yeah, I mean, I think it's the appreciation of the drawing and the pose and the composition and the storytelling in the page. But for sure, and that's kind of what I'm focusing on when I do the pencil side of it. But then for sure, once I hit the inks, then you see all the like subtle feathering, the weight in the ink line, the lighting, and that's all coming from Janson's inks in here. So it's a master study for both. Fair enough. I should probably give credit to both as I talk about these master studies, right? It should be like, it's not just a master study of Miller, it's a master study of Janson. I should consider that. And I think that's it's almost a lost art with there in modern day comics. There's not that reverence or kind of dynamic duo that was very common in the 90s, the 80s and the 90s, even earlier, the 70s, of the even the 60s, the penciler inker combo, where you're like, oh, it's you would at least I would always think of them as a pair. So for me, it was like I'd mentioned earlier, like John Byrne and Terry Austin, like that pairing was amazing. Or Arthur Adams and Terry Austin, that pairing was incredible. Frank Miller, Klaus Janson, Mark Silvestri, Dan Green, like those kind of pairings were incredible. Jim Lee, Scott Williams. But now, oftentimes, because a lot of comic art's done digitally, usually there's a, maybe not majority yet, but more than half, it's like no longer a penciler inker combo. It's more of a artist, and they're doing the whole thing because they're doing it digitally. Which is sad, because I think inkers could add so much artistry, and could change could change a piece of art, change a piece of comic art based on what they bring to the table. I flipped the page again because I'm going from thick to thin, so I like to put the pressure down and then lift up my brush to taper it off at the end. Comic art is awesome. Love it. Love it. Let's make look at his hand. Oh, and I didn't even acknowledge. Sorry, this was a great question, but I mean, I read the question, but I didn't acknowledge Stygian 360. Awesome. All sorts of new people in here. I love it. Well, in other words, you've disordered Sean's study. Yes, it is. I will happily display the loose art for preservation's sake. That's right. I'm the same way. I'll give it the deserving place, as opposed to like underneath a bunch of piles of other stuff. Let me reposition my mic. I keep hitting it with my brush. Oh, shoot. I forgot about the music. The wrist action I used to make nice curves and smack the crap out of my mic. Lindsay Rose says, I forgot it was hair and thought it was an arm for a second. Hair. It looks like braid hair. I saw the same thing. Oh, okay. Whoops. It's next to her head. Looks like a braid. It makes sense. Oh, are you talking about next to Electra's hair? Yeah, I can see that. They kind of have this overlap here. And he does this cool thing on this one panel. I really love this choice. Right here, this is the frame of the panel, but he breaks it right there. And it just pushes her head out of the window a little bit. There's like a dimensionality that he adds right there. I love that subtle choice. Otherwise, if he closed it off, I don't know. There's something claustrophobic that would have happened if he like continued the gutter all the way up. But he just pushed her forehead out, and it just makes her face pop off of that page. He's not shown the page he's referencing Master saying would make more sense if you'd seen it. Oh, I think I saw the reference about. Oh yeah. So this is the page. This is where we're headed. This beautiful page here. I should almost have it like in the corner, right? The actual page. Maybe I'll do that next time. Like just have it sitting there in the corner. Makes sense to pencil then ink. Yeah, it's fun. Some crazy artists barely pencil and just start inking. Some do. I was watching a stream of another person recently who, he was drawing in his sketchbook. I forgot the name of the channel, but he was drawing in his sketchbook, but there was no pencil drawing underneath, and it was just with an ink brush, just kind of like figuring it out as he went. It was pretty awesome. Oh yeah, I was working on a hand. Comic art is awesome. It's fantastic. Amazing. Dude, I'm in and out watching the stream, but we'll circle back later and watch reply. Thank you, Jeffrey Beats. No problem. Oops. You gotta white that out. I did the wrong overlap of some flesh there. Yeah, it's cool. Like with one of the things I like to collect are these artist edition books. And a big reason I like to collect it is because you can see not only the beauty of the artwork, the original artwork at size, but you can also see like the corrections and like, oh, okay, they're not perfect. You know, they had to go back in and correct stuff or make adjustments. But there is a few ink pages that I own of Jason Pearson being inked by Carl Story. And I swear there is no correction on it. The original page, like absolutely no correction on it. And I'm like, is this a real page? Is this really how you ink? And it is. It's like perfection. So there's some people that are really good at it. Just the control. I am not quite there yet. Yeah, I love how thin you can get these lines. If the brush is clean and your hand is steady, you can get some super thin marks with this Winsor Newton 7. Size 2. This is a size 2 brush. I've debated about getting a size 1 brush because there has been times I'm like, oh, if I just had a little thinner. But I find it has a lot to do with my own hand control on any given day, that I can get super thin lines with this that I might not need to invest in another brush. Cool. Is there a way to put Google Docs into dark mode? Hitting that time of day where the white background is just making my bad eye glare. I feel like there should be. Isn't that just, there should be. It seems like your generation, emo trash, you're big on the dark mode. My kids always look at my screen. They're like, oh my gosh, Papa, your screen is so bright. I'm like, I don't know how you... Like, I don't even like it when my Google Maps goes in dark mode automatically. I'm like, I can't see anything. I'm going to crash this car. Cool. Loving it. P.S. Thank you for having such a relaxing voice. Thank you, Lindsay Rose. I appreciate that comment. You're not the first person to say that in this stream, and the chat will attest to it. The dulcet tones. No, it's good. Depending on the time of day and your energy level, I've also been known to put people to sleep with my voice, including myself. I've said this before. I go back and watch my streams a few days after, or the next day or whatever, because I like to just make sure sound levels are okay and to see if I'm conveying the right point, things that I can do better on my stream. And I have been known, like I'll watch them like late at night or whatever before I go to bed, and I have been known to fall asleep to my own voice. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but unfortunately that's the only voice I got. Dang, the brush is flowing well today, guys. I'm very happy with, hopefully I don't jinx it, but I'm very happy with how this is coming along pretty rapidly, actually. And a lot has to do with I don't feel like I'm struggling with the brush or struggling with the marks I'm making. Daredevil's arm prior to you adding more of the body. Oh, I got you. That's why you thought it was a braid. Got it. It is his arm. Only the music room has to be a certain wall all the time, John. But that is a necessary thing. Yeah, I feel like music... I don't know if I've seen anybody... Well, that's not true. But people that I know that like collect music, collect records... They tend to be more organized with that stuff. Like maybe it's just because of the medium. Like you don't want to be like piling your records willy-nilly. And maybe it's the technical side of the brain too. But I feel like you gotta organize it properly. People take care of their records or their vinyls. Mark's Music Obsession says, I have a large collection of vinyl, John, but only spin them about 25% of my listening time at most. Lindsay Rose says, I should get my sketchbook out. Yes, do it. Everybody, grab your art tools. Join along. Yeah, I wouldn't say, I'm trying to think, like, myself in the past. I'm more of the kind of artist that has to hide in the hole a little bit and do my art, and then comes out and like, you know, can share it and iterate on it or whatever. Some people can like sit around and sketch with other people and draw stuff. I'm not quite that person. As I sit here and stream in front of a bunch of you guys. But it's a little different. I don't know. It's a little different because in essence, I'm still one guy by myself in a room working on my own thing right now. And I'm just talking to myself. And you guys just happen to be listening in. So it's a little different than being in a room with other people and drawing with them. Even when I worked in like a studio setting, I would kind of like put my headphones on and disappear into my world as I was drawing. Oh my goodness. Why did you guys tell me my mic was so far into the frame? It's like a UFO. Timmy Mello, what's up? Hail chat, I can only stop by while on my brief break.
And the Guardians are headed to October!
Okay, this is the section of our stream where we talk a little sports ball. How's it going, Timmy Mello? With your teams? I mean, I'm sure you're watching the playoffs. They've been crazy playoffs. Talking about basketball. But Timmy Mello's basketball team, the Cavs, one of the best records in the league, killing it. Never mind, figured it out. Yay, I can see. Everybody's saying hello to Timmy Mello. I have about 1,200 LPs and over 9,000 CDs of various formats. Oh my gosh. I store most of it in my music server and have my streaming services paired with the server also. Can access my library from anywhere. Oh, that's cool. I know people do that with like their movies too, their DVDs. I've never done that. Like they have their own like server for that they digitize all their movies and they can access that anywhere. That's really cool. I wish I had the time and or know how to do that. Yeah, that's the one thing with like comics. I just run into that constantly. Is storage for comics. And people are like, this is why you have to go digital comics. And I'm like, I just don't like digital comics. I don't like being able to hold the book in my hand, touch the pages, smell the paper, put it in a bag and a board. I love bags, bagging and boarding my books. It's just therapeutic. Oh, I gotta show you guys. Well, I guess I'll show you guys. I'll give you a sneak peek of something I'm gonna share on Wednesday. So this weekend I went to just took a trip to San Jose, which isn't that far from where I am, and they have this great. There's a store that I visited there before called Space Cat. I've not been able to do. I wrote their owner to see if I could do a comic book video, a comic book spotlight video of their store, but I never heard back. So I have not filmed in there at all. But it's a very, very cool store, and just all sorts of fun stuff, back issues, current stuff. And what I like about my favorite thing about that store is the back issue collection they have. It's just scattered. It's not as scattered as Shant's studio, but it's just like scattered all over the store. It's not one place, and it's kind of messy, but still organized. It's cool. It's really cool. It just like gets you into the like hunt mode of back issues. And I found this cool thing. I'll sneak peek it now, but we'll flip through it on Wednesday, on my Wednesday comics. But the reason I'll sneak peek it now is because it's a Frank Miller thing. Look at this. It's an issue of Comics Interview, which was a trade magazine. I don't know if they do Comics Interview anymore. But look at this cool cover. This is a Frank Miller drawing painted by Brian Stelfreeze, who Shant knows Brian Stelfreeze well. He like taught him a lot, mentored him a lot. But he's a great. There was a time where he's an amazing painter. And there was a time that he was just doing all these painted covers for predominantly Batman. But how cool is that cover over a Frank Miller drawing? Pretty awesome. So yeah, this whole magazine, a good chunk of this magazine, there's an interview with Frank Miller about Hard-Boiled Electra Lives Again, and there's some cool artwork in there. So I'll flip through it tomorrow, but this was one of my finds there. It's awesome. I love that cover. So cool. So yeah, like looking at that, like finding that magazine, the physical magazine in a back issue box was excuse me, was so rewarding versus like, oh, just get it I don't even know if they have it digitally, but like just get a digital copy of it. It's like, nah. I don't know if you feel the same, Mark, when it comes to like music or LPs or all that. I know it's hard to store that stuff as well. Storage is one of the biggest conundrums of collecting. His ink is perfection to you, but not complete to him. Artists are nutty. My gut tells me that Klaus was probably inking with a nib over Miller. What's up, Antoine Dennison? You think so? I don't know. Excuse me. Like this kind of stuff here, maybe he was just using a nib and then would brush. But like this, I can't see. This like thick to thin, that would I mean, I guess you could do it on nib. There are definitely, like, I feel like with Dark Knight Returns, I feel like he was using, it seems like he was using a nib predominantly in that one. But we could be wrong. But it just felt like it based on the marks. There was a lot more thinner lines. It just felt nibbish, if that's a word. But this feels more brush-like. I don't know. It'd be interesting to. And a lot of this Daredevil work felt like it was inked with a brush. How are you doing, Antoine? Haven't seen you in a while. Rocky, when you close your eyes, you're not supposed to still be able to see your screens. Dark mode, you heathen. I don't know. It just doesn't. It's too dark for me. It's too dark for me. Doesn't work. Not a generational thing, Rocky. I've been on dark mode since day one. Nice. I was fine with the light mode till just now. Cataract eyes don't. Okay, fair enough. When you fall asleep to your own voice, yeah. The soothing sounds of Rocky B on 103.3. I missed out on my other career possibility. I should have been a DJ, a midnight, late night DJ for jazz. Sometimes with these variations in the thick and thin, sometimes you can't get it perfectly on the first pass, so you kind of have to, what I'll do is I'll like kind of lightly hit it with a thinner line and then build up the thickness in the spots that need to be thicker as I go on. And that's because I can see the final result, right? So I'm like comparing, I'm like, oh, it's a little thicker here. But I figure like when you're working on your original stuff and you don't have any reference to go by and you're just kind of making it up as you're drawing it or inking it, there's going to be that added layer of like, oh, that's the mark that just went down. That looks good. Or, oh, I need to make it thicker. So that'll be different. Like when I start working on original stuff and inking original stuff, I won't have anything to compare it to for the final product. I always love the little nubbin devil horns on the Daredevil costume. Yes, relaxing, save the I'm sorry. Yeah, who knows how long my allergies will go. Every time I'm like, oh, it looks like they're good. And the next day I'll just be coughing. Rocky sounds more like a public radio host talking about cranes and swamp or some such. Okay. I'll take that as a compliment too. Yeah, there's certain people, it's so funny. There's, speaking of like radio voices, there's, sometimes I'll listen to like NPR or talk radio and I can't remember the name of the host, but she has a voice. It's not Terry Gross. She's got a great voice. It's another host who has a voice that is so like nasally and hard to listen to, and I'm like, how did you ever get a job? It's very distinct, but I'm like, how did you ever get a job hosting a radio show with that voice? It's like grating on me. It almost sounds like an SNL skit, kind of, her voice. Brought to you by Winsor Newton brushes. I did figure it out. Apparently it required an extension, though I stupid that I couldn't do it. So some setting somewhere. I still am Lindsay Rose on a healthy dose of cough medicine and cough drops, especially when I stream or when I'm talking too much, which happens when I stream, or late night. I didn't think it was her braid, Rocky. It did look like one to me, though. I was wondering. I was aware it wasn't, though, so that helps. The journey of a Winsor Newton brush is a long and somewhat tragic affair. On today's show, we'll talk about craft and natural conservancy. Oh, goodness. Team draw alone, LOL. Yep, that's me. That is me. I would be distracted. Sorry, I'm way behind, guys. I would be distracted in a room with other people. It's hard, yeah. I don't know what it is. Might be the introvert in me, too. Like, yeah, that's why this whole idea of streaming and drawing while you stream was like, what? Are you kidding me? But I enjoyed it when I saw other people do it. And I think the the master study was a great way of kind of getting over that hump for me. Because it gave me something to latch onto, and I wasn't just pulling the create. I mean, it's like certain tasks require, for me, require more isolation than others. So like if I'm writing, if I'm designing something from scratch, storyboarding or thumbnailing, like that stuff, I need more isolation. I need to kind of be lost in my own thoughts. But like inking, you can ink and talk. Penciling based off of something that you're just like trying to match, that's easier to do on stream as well. It's when you're creating something from nothing, that's kind of harder for me to do on the spot. The number of YouTubers who touch their mic nonstop is a mic. Leave it alone. Well, also the more expensive mic that you get, more professional mic you get, the less mic noise you'll hear. So this mic that I have is pretty cheap. It's not the greatest mic, but it works fine for me. I don't need a super fancy mic at this stage, but there is a lot of mic noise once I touch it, I bump it. So all these things that I accidentally bump, like with my brush or like my hand, if I had a more expensive mic, you would not be able to hear that. So that's for the future. But right now, with my cheapo mic, you're gonna hear all the rustling, bustling, adjusting. But yeah, it's like a twitchy thing. It's like you always want the mic to be near your mouth, and you want to make sure you're speaking into the mic, and that's why people are always constantly adjusting it and moving it around. Boop, boop. Cool. Rocky, you're the one that pulled it further into frame anyway, though. Thought we were just having a guest appearance for the mic. Can I try to make you anxious, Rocky? I'm going to try to make you feel self-conscious that all 11 of us are watching you now, standing around you in your room. Yep. It's working. It's working. That's gross. I always wonder that with birds. People that have birds as pets, like, you don't know. I was taking care of one of my friend's bunnies for a few days, and bunnies are super cute. They got their own personality, but there's one point where I got a phone call while I was taking care of her, and I put that call on speakerphone, and it just freaked her out. And she was like running around, hopping around, and poop, the little like bunny pellets were shooting out of her butt. I was like, what is going on? It was kind of funny and crazy. Just couldn't control it. Couldn't hold it in. Fortunately, bunny pellets are like little cocoa marbles, as opposed to bird poop. Right now we are down 4-0 and in week 2 of our longest homestands on the guard side. Oh goodness. Down 4-0. Yeah, I went to a Giants baseball game the other day, and just so happened to be at a game that they lost the worst. It was like an 11-3 game, but then they won like the game before it, and they won a few games after it, and I think they're in the lead right now in their division. I was like, why did I get to go to the sucky game? Oops. Wow. What's that smell? Stop it. My son kicked his first Australian football goal in the weekend in his first game. He's playing for under 10 Magpies. Go Maggies. So cute. Is Australian football like soccer? Is that the same? Why is there a difference between Australian football and everybody else's, like not American football, but soccer? Is there a difference between Australian football and European football? Is that what we call it? That's super cute. It's like at that age they just want to kick it. There's no strategy. It's just like kick the ball, go after the ball. Klaus Jansen's doing some great stuff just with these, like, just adding a little thickness to a couple of the sides of like these shards of glass, but it gives it this depth, thickness, and it's almost like a slight shadow over Daredevil's body right here, like this this thicker line here. Just feels like it's floating up on top. It's great. Go Maggies. I would if I wouldn't trash my arms and back when hauling my comics everywhere. Digital comics and digital sketching, the antagonists of the ADHD sufferer. No more comics interview. Geez, that bring back memories. I have the Aliens edition. Oh, the magazine? Yeah. I loved magazines like that. I mean, Wizard magazine was like that, and there was a magazine called Draw magazine. It was like that too. Back issue. Seems like some of the same guys did, in one form or another, would do those books. The Jack Kirby collector. I guess it's just not affordable to really do that though, but I loved it. I love seeing like who's the top artist or what's the hot issue of this month. I love that even though these are straight, like hard edge geometric shapes, Klaus Janson did not use a ruler, but he just free-handed it, which I'm kind of matching here too. I love that. Just makes it feel more drawn. It makes it feel more part of the art when you freehand technical stuff like that, technical lines. Tomorrow or Wednesday is when you'll flip through that RoboCop comic, Rocky. Wednesday. I'll do it on my Wednesday comics. For those of you who don't know who are new to this channel, on Wednesdays I like to do a stream. Try to be as regular as possible. Every Wednesday I do a stream called My Wednesday Comics where I will go to my local store and pick up the books, whatever books it is that I'm getting, whether I'm planning to get them or books that I discover that week. And then I'll share them on stream and just kind of go over why I picked them up, what I like about them. And then sometimes, depending on how the rest of the week goes, I'll also introduce other things that I found either on the weekend or get in the mail, and I unbox them on stream. So it's all kind of, I used to unbox separate. I would do a separate stream to unbox, but it's all kind of consolidated into My Wednesday Comics now. But that's it's always fun to just go over new stuff. And I likened it to when I would go to a comic book store with friends, and then we would just sit in the room and just like pour over our books and just go, oh, did you see this? Or did you see this? And it's cool because there's one store that I go to. It's called Amazing Fantasy. And the store owner, Frank, he watched my stream. He's such a good dude. One of the oldest comic book stores in the city. And but I've been noticing these last few weeks, these same guys come in on Wednesday, and I believe they're high school students, but they come in and they're just so excited about the new books that come out. They're just like on the racks, like scouring through this, looking for this variant cover. Look at this, and they're talking to each other and like, oh dude, you just scored, blah blah blah. It just reminded me, like, I kind of want to, I'm like, it takes a lot in me not to like, hey guys, what'd you get? That's cool. To join in their conversation, because I'm like this old dude. But I love seeing youth, and in particular, not like super young kids, but like, you know, teenage youth be really into comics like I was as a kid, and just be so excited to go to the store and pick up the new books for that week. So it's awesome. I really enjoy it. So my show, My Wednesday Comics, is just my way of doing that, but on YouTube. So yes, since I picked up this Frank Miller book on the weekend, I will show it on My Wednesday Comics. Sorry, just got to answer a text on my phone. 1 second. This is cool. It's coming along nicely already. Lindsay Rose can't find her erasers. That's a problem. Do we need a pic of your studio too? John says. Look on the back of your pencils. Oh, cranberry. That one's gone, of course. Of course. I have a million pencils that don't have the... And honestly, erasers that are included with the pencils are oftentimes the worst erasers. So I sometimes skip those erasers, especially those red ones, whatever the standard red rubber that's on the back of pencils. Always felt like those erasers like can really screw up an image. So I always like using separate erasers from them. More often than not, I like the white click erasers. These guys, the Pentel erasers, or I use my nice gum rubber eraser, kneaded eraser, Kneaded, or if I'm drawing like really fine line stuff and I need to erase, I'll use a electric eraser. Or I don't have it here. I have one of those, fat white ones. And white erasers are cleaner than like the standard rubber red ones. The pink erasers. You guys remember those big pink erasers you'd get as a kid? I hated those. I would always like tear my page because it would like be too rubbery. I don't know. Or my paper would be too thin. And I'd erase and always, sure enough, I'd like tear it. Oh, Jansen definitely had a brush. I'm sure he would use it to come back into those large black areas, but I could be wrong. No, you could be... I could see that. Yeah. Like maybe he, like, most of these, like, thin lines were with his nib, and then he would come in and hit all the thick, thin stuff with a brush. That's possible. There was a video I ran across recently. I think it might have been the artist David Finch. He has a great YouTube channel. He doesn't post that much, but some videos he's posted in the past have done really well. because he's David Finch. But I believe he had Klaus Janson on as a guest, and he did an inking demo. So I should go back and watch that and see what tools he used and how he used them. But I do feel like this Daredevil stuff is a little bit more brushier than... Here, I'll get it. I'll get the Dark Knight Returns. And we can look. Quit hearing his voice. That it's like white noise. My voice is. Later, guys. I'll catch the rest of the stream on playback. All right, see you later, Timmy Mello. Probably left like 20 minutes ago. The water in my part of Florida doesn't get really cold ever. It can always manage, except maybe December. That's unfair. We were just talking about surfing the other day with some friends. We're just like, that doesn't ever make sense. Why would you go into like freezing cold water to get like whipped around by a wave, possibly like pulled under, just for the thrill of like getting, catching the tube? And also on top of that, the water's really cold. But I guess if you're surfing in Hawaii as opposed to here in Northern California, you'd have warmer water. There's a lot of surfers out here. I'm not too far from the Pacific Ocean, and there's a lot of surfers on a good day. This is Daredevil underwear. Underoos. Underoos. I'll send you a ginger soup recipe for your cough, Rocky. Fresh ginger will fix that. Thanks. Jeffrey Beats, I'd love it. It's his seasonal allergies. They're always terrible. Yeah, they are. Hasn't grown out of his tulip phase, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969.
How do you say monkey in French?
Good seeing you. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where once it's bad, once the allergies are bad, it just kind of lingers until the season's over. So it's definitely gotten better. I don't know how much longer we will be in it. And it's not just me too. A lot of my friends talk about how bad their allergies have been this season. So, but those friends also don't stream and cough into mics, so they don't know my pain. The flow on this brush, kind of the way the inks are coming out, has been great today. It's one of those things. You catch the creative muse and you just go with it. You don't know when she'll be back. She's not a frequent visitor. I honestly, unless I actually see Rocky move or hit the mic, I never notice the noise that comes from it. Good. I used to hit the mic, and Mark's dog, Maggie, she would like freak out. Bald eagles are staking up the fish this afternoon behind the house. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. One of my friends went to Alaska recently, and she was showing me pictures they took of just like bears just hanging out, wrestling. So cool. And then there was another video they took of like all these seagulls like perched next to the mountains, and it was in Alaska, so it was like, you know, icebergs and stuff, but there was all these seagulls around everywhere. So cool to be surrounded by animals. Me, I just get my stupid cats. I mean, I also have the zoo. The zoo's not too far away. When I do my zoo streams, it's not too far away. That's back leg. Australian soccer. Wow, I'm really behind. Australian soccer might be oval. I just want a Aussie rules umpire. What? Australian football is very different to soccer. You have to kick and catch the ball. Oh, they have 3 goals. The goal in the middle is worth 6 points. You have to... Wow, that's crazy. It's not like... Sounds a little bit like rugby. Well, not really, but that's crazy. That's a totally different game. 3 goals. Huh. Is it a lot more physical? Like, can you tackle each other? The umpires are unreal, very straight-faced. I would never, ever, ever want to be an umpire for any kind of sport. Just hearing the, like, how much hatred. I know, I mean, it's bad here in America, like, for certain sports, especially if, like, the game's on the line. and we're in the playoffs now with the NBA, so there's many games on the line right now. But I've even heard like for soccer, like in Europe or Spain or whatever, like they can lose their lives if they make a bad call or a call that the particular fans do not agree with. I've heard people getting shot or killed or lynched because of a bad, or refs being threatened and killed because of a bad call. Like, that's messed up. Cranberry Andrew says, I remember Draw Magazine. Did I tell you guys this? Do I even have it here? I don't know if I have it here. No. Huh? I do. I don't know if I've shared this with you guys before. This is way back when, 2005. Here's Draw Magazine. In-depth interview and demos with the Moth's Steve Rude. And look at that. Well, who's that? On the cover of Draw Magazine. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was interviewed at number 11 with a Steve Rude cover. How cool is that? But it was at the time. Here we go. This was a show that I had created in the early 2000s, and it was interviewed by. It was kind of this film noir web show, and it was a web show, and so web flash animation was really big, and so they did a whole interview. It was kind of fun, and really honored to be able to include it in that. Some work on Happy Tree Friends, and then just some designs and stuff I had done. This was a comic book that one of my coworkers, my friends, did called Bomb Baby, and I did a pinup for that. Wow, this stuff's so old. Cover that. That's not my drawing. But yeah, it was fun. Fun being included in a book with Steve Rude and other greats of How To magazine. Mr. Monkey Boy. Surely there's value to that. Lindsay Rose found the erasers. Upon finally writing the conclusion, I'm just over the 1,500 word requirement. Oh, time to ask ChatGPT, please eliminate 150 words from this. I'd write 1,500 words and ta-da, I'm done. Professor wanted a minimum of 1,500. He's getting 1,506. Oh, I see. I gotcha. Not including my biography. Oh, yeah. Man, those days of like word limits. Oh, the worst. 5 hours till Groomman says hi. I'm skipping now. I'm Huge jumps. Huge jumps. Groomsman's inner cowboy. Do not buy an expensive mic and then fidget with the whole time you're streaming recording. But you wouldn't be able to hear it. That's how cool. That's how great they are, the technology. You wouldn't be able to hear it if I fidgeted. Surf where it's warm. That's good. That's good good advice. They wear wetsuits. Yes, some of them do. Yeah, no, it's true. They do. But still, it's still cold. Wetsuits aren't perfectly insulated. Oh. Emo Trash said mom made a taco concoction that's been waiting for me like 2 hours. That sounds good. Love me some tacos. Talk concoction. That's a mighty fine looking daredevil you got there, sir. Thank you. Mighty fine. Thank you. Bald eagles are cool. I'm jumping here. I will not allow you to disrespect the stupid cats. Wow, I'm really behind. This is unacceptable. I will not allow you to disrespect the stupid cats. They are prime entertainment. They're the worst. Felines are the cat's the ball is a spider. Yes, you can tackle in Australian football. Yes, you can tackle in Australian rules football. You can't keep the ball unless you catch it from a kick. We dominate the world in it because no other... That's one way to do it. Create your own sport that you dominate in. Comrade Sammy's back. Free time, awesome. What did you miss? You know what? I'm just getting around to the chat, so that's what you missed. The ball for this game used to be made out of a possum skin. Oh, gross. Ain't nothing more intense than being an umpire for a little game. The soccer mom Karens are, yes. I've seen some horrible videos. People just like punching umpires or punching referees at games. And granted, me being a parent of kids that played sports, like you'd get caught up in it, but yeah, you wouldn't disrespect the refs. Even if the refs sucked, it's like, I wouldn't get to that point, but some people take it way too seriously. Cranberry Langer says, yeah, I remember that one, Rocky Ballesteros. If you're just seeing this now, it's because my boy is so humble. Or forgetful. But thanks, Sean. I used to build in Macromedia Flash action script. Oh, gosh. That was the worst. I never used any of the stuff that Flash was meant to be used for. We totally like broke that program to try and get it to do what we wanted it to do. And it was never meant to animate the way that we made it animate. So it was like, it was the ultimate, like, going out into the woods and like building a fire out of sticks and rocks and just banging them against each other until it worked. Those huge jumps better not miss. Nope, we got you. Wesley is an admirable character. Okay, I missed that. I will not be taught pricing flights to go back to my sister's Memorial Day because I don't want to make that drive again so soon. Your 7 to 8 hour drive, Mark? Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Look, I caught the end. You guys talking about fencing? I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but there we go. I caught up now. Okay, now I can get back to it. I just felt so bad. I was so behind. All right, I have, let's see, what else do we want to do on this? Oh, I got is a D. Is DD? These lines here. I don't know if I want to, well, I guess I could start doing the window a little bit. I could. We're on a roll here. Please make sure you hit that like if you haven't already. And if you're new to this channel and you like what's been going on, you like how slow I have been to getting back to the chat, you like talk of Australian football and hitting mics, then please subscribe to my channel. There's a lot of that going on. I do appreciate all the new faces, though, that have showed up today. That's awesome. And then, like I was mentioning earlier today, come join us on Wednesday for My Wednesday Comics. Usually Tuesday is when I find out what books I'm going to be hunting for or getting on Wednesday. And I'll like kind of scour the internet for the different news of what's coming out. There's a few channels that I look at, like there's one channel called Comics Are Dope. That guy has a great channel. Just a nice way about him. Loves comics, and he collects way more than I do, but it's a fun channel. And he usually goes over the books that come out in a week. And then there's a store in, I think it's in Massachusetts, called the Comic Book Palace. They put on a weekly show talking about what came out that week. So always watch that. Then there's a store on X that puts out a video of what comes out that week too, called 4-Color Fantasy. I don't know where they're based out of. I keep forgetting. But yeah, I mean, if I had the information that's available now on the internet, like through YouTube or social media, when I was a kid about stuff coming out, that would have been amazing. When I was a kid, it was just like, you just walk into a store, if you could even find a store. Or I'd be getting books at like the gas station or the supermarket or whatever. Whatever is there, you'd pick it up. Or you'd have that one friend who had access to comics, whether he was nearby a store or was part of a subscription service, and then you'd just borrow his stuff. So those are guys who have been part of my channel in the early days when I first started it. I had a couple shows called Super Nostalgia, where I had two of my buddies from middle school who I grew up reading comics with. And one of those, well, both of those guys, I would just borrow books from them. We'd like trade books and talk about them the next day. That was fun. And then we'd try and piece together like certain runs. I'm like, I don't have this issue or whatever, but Freddie has it. So, hey, Freddie, can I borrow your issue 203 of Uncanny? And I'd let him borrow my issue of whatever. Oh, this piece of glass goes farther down here. Have to white that out later. I love that bunching up of his abs. It's like it really compresses his body position. That is awesome. Okay. Glass. Cool. I think that Daredevil. Ooh. One more line here. That's fun. Boom. Alan Lau. What's up, Alan Lau?
Hey, kid.
What?
I'm a computer.
Alan says that's an epic pose. Thank you, sir. It is. It's a fun one. I'm glad I started on this one, too. It really, flowed well and helped to catapult this page to get going. Yeah, I can't wait to see this one done. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Well, let me catch up, and then we can look a little bit at Klaus Jansson's inks on Dark Knight Returns. That would be good to see. Oh my gosh. Really got back. Okay. Hey, let's make sure Rocky isn't caught up next time, everybody. Stop it. Rocky does more than chewing on cough drops, denigrating cats, and getting behind on chat. He also does art and breaks down comic books. Comic art. Drug comics. Wow. That's right. Wherever I could find them, I would buy them. Need to pop out for a meeting. Catch you later. This looks ace. I would be happy if I could draw half as much as to Frank Miller's skill. Me too. Me too. But thank you, Jeffrey Beats. We'll see you next time. Newsstand grocery 5 and dimes. Brother's closet. Oops, wrong reading material. Careful. Careful how far you dig down into those boxes. You know, I realize I jump back in and don't say much. Maybe. That's right, like a ninja. I also realized I went quiet, but that's because I poked the food in my face and then I realized I was hungry. I could use some tacos. I gotta actually start cooking soon. But I could use some tacos. Today in the hip hop world, Daredevil break dances. Alan Lau saying hello to everybody. I finished my sketch and some of my food. Nice, double duty. Was also annoyed because she came back down, saw me getting my food together, and started asking like 6 questions about it before I even had the opportunity to poke even a bite of it in my face. Should I color it? Yeah, why not? Do it. Never question the creative muse. When it comes, there's a great interview with Robert Rodriguez, who I just love him as a director and just the spirit that he approaches creativity. And there's a great recent interview he did where he just said, like, he believes creativity isn't like, you know, not inbred, but like isn't within you. It's just like there's a spirit out there of creativity, and it's your job to just be ready to be a conduit of this. Now, it sounds kind of hokey, but his point being, like, you just gotta like go with it and not question it, and it will flow out of you, and you gotta be ready. That's like being prepared and ready, but also not second guessing you, because he says, like, it's not your creativity, it's just you're just a conduit to get it out in the world. So I kind of appreciated that sentiment, because oftentimes as artists you get stuck in your own head of like, oh, that doesn't look right, and you just kind of you get in your way. You become your own obstacle for just getting the creativity out there. So whatever you got to do, Lindsay Rose, just do it. Start coloring. Don't question. I don't want to tempt you, Rocky, but there's a Frank Frazetta collection from his family. Oh no. Is this through Frazetta? Frazetta girl? Sarah Frazetta? I think her name is Sarah Frazetta. I love that she's kind of honoring her grandfather's legacy and, you know, continuing it. So I might have to research that. Cranberry Langers. Ideas are infinite, inspiration is limited. Ooh, Alan Lau coming in with the dropping the like wisdom. What is that, man? What fortune cookie did you read that from? That's awesome. Ideas are infinite. Inspiration is limited. I like that. The channel of creation and inspiration God gives you. Yeah. Yeah. Alan Lau, as is time limited. That's right. That's definitely right. There's definitely merit to that. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Just like tweaking my back, as I've told you guys, like it freaked me out a little bit because I'm like, if I can't sit properly, what standing desk? I mean, like what, how is that going to affect my art and sitting at a desk, creative, just working or whatever? How is that going to affect if I can't sit properly because of my stupid, that's why I am denigrating my cats. Okay. Here's some, as a reference, here's some beautiful Klaus Janson inks on Frank Miller from Dark Knight Returns. And I mean, I can see some similarities to, well, let's not compare it to mine. Let's compare it to his. Some similarities to, this is one artist edition that I actually don't own, is the Dark Knight Returns, and I should. The reason why I hesitate is because, I mean, it's expensive, but also I already have Ronin Artist Edition, and I love this. I love the colors so much of Dark Knight Returns that I'm like, do I need to see this in black and white? I mean, I have never seen it really go cheap in price, and so that's part of the reason why I haven't bit the bullet of just buying it, because it is huge. It's huge, kind of like the Ronin one. I don't know, I should buy it. If I find it if I find it discounted or for a good price, I'll buy it. But all that being said is, like, it would be cool to see this artwork up close at size and compare it. But maybe you're right, Antoine Dennison, if you're still around. Maybe it's all nib, because there are similar line quality things that Janson's doing here. This, like, very, very, I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera, but this stuff for sure feels like nib, because it's super thin lines and there's not that much differentiation in it. Same with this, like, hatching, this, like, scratchy hatching that he did here, but then he has these super thick brush strokes, so maybe he went over it with a brush on top of the nib inking. I'll go try and find that video of him inking and see what he does, see how his process is. But yeah, this is why I felt like it's more nib inking here, because it's like scratchier and like sketchier, thinner, and then these thick lines, I thought maybe he just pressed harder on the nib. Maybe he went back with a brush. But these still feel like more brush-like, these straight. And this was earlier on in his career. Oh. I love this book, man. It's another one I gotta read again. Classic Image. Yeah, I gotta buy the artist edition. I just convinced myself. This is too good of a book. This stuff, yeah, this feels like, this particular piece feels like he drew it with the nib first and then went in hard, just like to hit the shadows and the hair, and kind of made it aggressively hit it with a brush afterwards. So many panels, Frank. My gosh. Love this. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. It's so loose. It's really loose. Even though these images are burned in my brain, like iconic Batman images, when you look at it close, it's so... I gotta get the artist edition now. Dang it! It's so loose, the inks on this. This feels like nib all over the place. Man, so good. Love it. Great panel design. Check this out. Like bleeds from the top because Bruce falls from a well into just word sound effects. And then those sound effects are like claustrophobic, like overwhelming him after he hit the ground on top of him. And then they're all around him and you start seeing the wings on the bats. This breaks it up into 4 panels here, and then this with the like bat, just the bat eyes in the mouth or that nose. Ugh, that page is perfection. Comic book perfection right there. The color's great, man. So good. All-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite books right here, and we're hitting it with the origins of Frank Miller. All right, let's see. It's through the Frazetta girls. They say it's gorgeous or something. I forget. I would though. Rocky Wellstairs. Okay. I'll look for it from Cranberry. I'll check it out. I got the fortune cookie from Panda Express in West. I know that Panda Express well. Is it true they're renaming Orange Chicken? Stop it. Buy the big one, Rocky. How else will you smack your mic with every page turn? It's true. It's true. That would be a good goal. To buy that big Dark Knight Returns. Ugh. But there's so many artist editions coming out soon. There's the... Well, I already paid for it. I pre-ordered the body bags. The body bags one. I've talked about it ad nauseum on this channel. There's that one. The body bags one. Hold on. I'm going to switch my view. There is... the Youngblood Artist Edition, that's coming out soon. I read that Youngblood Deluxe from last week, and it's such a guilty pleasure. It's really fun. So he's coming out with a Vault Edition, Artist Edition of that, which would be the original art on that. That's going to be amazing. There's too many of those coming out. Yeah, but if I find Dark Knight for affordable price, I might plunk down for that. Trump Chicken sounds like a whole new franchise. This is my default emoji for any time I check the news of the day. I don't think they're doing Trump Chicken at Panda Express. Today my dad was like, I talked to my dad and he was like, oh, did you hear that Angel Reese, who she's a WNBA player, kind of controversial WNBA player. Do you know that she's banned for life? And I'm like, what? And then I did a quick Google search and I was like, no, she's not. He was like, I saw it on Facebook. And I'm like, oh God, Dad. I don't think it's true. I think we would have heard about it in other news sources. So maybe not with the Trump Chicken for Orange Chicken. I don't think so. Which era of Miller art style is your favorite, Rocky? That is loaded. I don't have one. I love it all. I love all his art styles. And I think that's why he's one of the GOATs, in my opinion. I love his, obviously, Dark Knight Returns. I mean, this is up there. But I love this 80s Daredevil time, Frank Miller 80s, Frank Miller. I love his Sin City stuff. Even when he was drawing Elektra, he drew her in so many different ways. So he drew her in that 80s style, and then he drew her in this style, which is kind of Dark Knight Returns-ish. Oh, this is so good. I love his 300 stuff. Yeah, Frank Miller's. He's the best. He's totally the best. I even love his current stuff. His current stuff is not my favorite, but I loved his Ronin. Oh my gosh, Ronin! Holy moly! Yeah, that's why I don't have one style, and why I just categorize him as one of the greatest, because he shifted styles so many times. He evolved, and they were all amazing. Like, if they were individual artists, I would think they were amazing, but the fact that one artist did those different styles, crazy. They lost the plot when they stopped reporting the news and started asking, what does it mean about the news? I do like Orange Chicken from Panda Express. Rocky has switched to My Random Comics now. Dark Knight is a sequential art, man. It is. It's amazing. I'm sold. Groomsman Artist Edition. That would be incredible. The colors are awesome, especially on those 2 pages. Yes. First investor right there. Well on your way. Okay. I just had some spicy Doritos on Sunday, and they were so hot. Like, I don't think they were the sweet chili ones, but I've had like spicy Cheetos before, and I'm like, whatever, spicy Cheetos. And so I thought the Doritos would be same, but they were so spicy. I was like, oh my gosh, seriously? Can a vault be vaunted? You could have a vaunted vault and be all your fault. That sounds like a Dr. Seuss rhyme, John. Nice job, Alan. We've just lost Rocky for another. Isn't that the point? Isn't it point? Don't you want to hear me talking about comics? Isn't that the whole point of this? Of this joint? Oh my gosh. Did I tell you guys that I tried Shelby's Raising Cane's? Did I tell you guys this? I don't think I did. I tried Shelby's Raising Cane's recipe, the one he sent me. And I think the one I shared with you guys, I totally shared with you guys on stream. And it was 95% accurate. We got Raising Cane's, got their sauce, made the sauce, and tried them side by side, and it was really close. I think probably it was slightly off just because I was mixing for a different amount than the recipes. So I just have the recipe because it was a lot. So I just have the recipe, so my measurements weren't exact. But it was really close. I was shocked at how good it turned out. So go back and watch. I don't even know what stream it was. Some of you might. But there was one stream we talked about that recipe, and I shared it with you guys. And if you like Raising Cane's sauce, do it, because it was amazing. I want to try the Korean barbecue Doritos, but can't find them. Oh, those sound good. They probably have them in Korea. Love super spicy. Mark, try the super spicy the spicy Doritos. They were surprisingly spicy. Spicy sweet chili ain't that spicy. Okay, I don't know what these were. They weren't sweet chili though. I've had sweet chili flavored stuff before, but this wasn't it. It was just spicy Doritos, and they were, I don't know if it was flaming Doritos or something, but it was really hot. No, you didn't. How did it taste? Try kettle Korean barbecue. I tried just recently. I was at a Korean supermarket, and they were selling, it was like green onion cream cheese popcorn, and the brand was Dunkin' Donuts, and none of those things made any sense to me of like, I didn't realize Dunkin' Donut did a cream cheese, sour cream anything. And why are they doing popcorn? But it was good. It was like a very sweet, salty kind of combo. I don't know if it's just an Asian, like they only sold that in Korea, because sometimes like Dunkin' Donuts will sell different things in other countries than they do here. Like I know McDonald's does that. But yeah, I was like, what is this? So I had to try it, and it was actually quite good. But I can imagine kettle Korean barbecue chips could be really good. I was just looking at the recipe yesterday or the day before. Cane's dipping. Oh, Cranberry just dumped it. There you go, everybody. Cane's dipping sauce. That's the recipe, and it works. It absolutely works. I did get the Frank's hot sauce, the actual brand of Frank's hot sauce, and everything else. Yeah, it was good. I love how you just pulled that out like really fast. John says, Rocky, are you wrapping up again now? Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up soon. I gotta start dinner and do a couple other things. And it's already been 3.5 hours. So yeah, wrapping this up. But look how far we got. Look at that. That's cool. The first stream? That's awesome. Raising Cane's is all right, not worth the hype. It's good. A pinch of celery sauce. Yep. All that. You need all of it. And it was all good. RFK Jr. will slap fines on the message, John. What are you guys talking about? All right, so let me turn off this music. There we are. This was our first foray into inking this page. It was wonderful. Not only conversing with you guys, but the actual inking was really wonderful. It was a good experience for me because it just flowed nicely, and the brush, ink, Winsor Newton brush, Winsor Newton ink combo was great. And yeah, it just really flowed nicely. So I'm happy. I'm super happy at how this turned out. I mean, we got a bunch of glass and broken window stuff to still figure out. And then this face, oh, that's going to be a good one to ink this face. Maybe I'll hit that one next. We'll see. But thanks so much, you guys, for coming and joining me, just like hanging out for this first master study, or third master study, but first inking master study for Frank Miller, the master. Next one, will I be able to get another one in this week? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. But for sure, come back and join me on Wednesday. All things going okay, we'll be able to do a My Wednesday comic stream and go over the books there. One of which being this bad boy, which is a fun find and a beautiful cover. Beautiful Frank Miller cover. I mean, come on. Oh. I'm talking about him writing RoboCop 2, which I never watched. But yeah, we'll flip through this. It's cool. They have all sorts of stuff in here. Really fun. And then whatever other books I come up with or walk away from the store with on this Wednesday. All right, thanks, Rocky. Later, everyone. Thanks, Rocky, in chat. So nice to meet you, Lindsay Rose. Hope to see you again soon. You'll get another one in if you don't get distracted too much. About what time? Oh, my goodness, Mark's music obsession. I'm going to guess probably... what time do I usually stream? I usually after lunch time for me. So it's like 1-ish, 2-ish Pacific Coast time. I'm sorry. Yeah. Pacific Coast time. So, yeah. I mean, whatever your time zone in, everybody's time zone is, calculate that. So that's what I try to do. Hopefully that works out. I don't know. I've gotten a few curveballs lately in life. Have thrown me a few curveballs on Wednesdays. You hear my cat? He's yelling for dinner. So, but I'm shooting for that, Mark. That's right. Artists have a loose interpretation of time. Lindsay Rose, a great gal who rarely threatens others. Awesome. Yes, it was great meeting you, Lindsay. Hopefully you're subscribed already, and I do hope I see you again in the future. All right, everybody. Take care. Emo Trash was first in chat. She's in the credits. I'll see you guys next time for My Wednesday Comics. Thank you so much for joining me for this Master Study. I'll catch you around. And if you haven't seen the previous streams, the penciling streams, go check that out. I have a playlist for Frank Miller, as the other Master Studies. They all have their own playlists, so you can check those out on the replay. Fun stuff. All right, take care. See you later.